Hello. I know it's been a while. We've done a lot lately. Um, Grandpa's been getting on us. I guess people have been getting on us towards him, I guess. And we're supposed to do a new video. So, got everything kind of wrapped up front. And we'll do a video today and show you all the updates. I guess we'll start up front. Alright. First thing, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a lot different than what she was. Got her new grill in, got her headlights in, got her fan in. Eric, you want to tell them about all that?
The grill is kind of
Model T.
early Model T style. We wanted to keep it a little slim, not a big old grill on the front. I thought that kind of detracted from the look. So we made this out of some tin we had laying around and split some tubing open here on the sides and welded it to the edges, kind of clean up the look a little bit, and used expanded steel on the middle. And
Looks gorgeous.
got the headlights painted up, painted black to match.
I think these are from like, what Grandpa say, like a 30 style pickup, 30 40s?
Pretty sure 30s, 40s.
But the problem with these is they take a bigger headlight than most normal round lights. So Grandpa, we didn't want to mess with that, so Grandpa fussed for a good 3-4 days on getting them mounted. If you can see this outer ring, that's what holds it in. That way they don't fall out.
You had to make this ring, and you had to make a piece inside of the housing to mount the light to.
And then he also went ahead and made us our brackets as well, so they can pivot both ways.
Or we can adjust them. It's a pretty good setup. Should work.
And guess what? They work. Bam!
Got all the lights wired in, along with the rest of everything.
There's your brights. There's your dims. And sticking with our lights, we got our turn signals in. And that one. And if you look at the back, we got our lights in on the back.
These are just standard universal trailer style lights that came on a pickup bed trailer that we were originally going to use for the bed.
Now, we had a lot of fuss figuring out them blinkers. Turns out it was just our flasher. Apparently we had 2 bad flashers and 1 bad brand new flasher. So we went ahead and got another brand new one and she finally worked. Finally. But just to kind of show you our wiring, it's a mess. And I mean a real mess. Let me get a light here to show y'all. Look at all that wiring. It's horrible. But we got that wired up. And if I know we had our gauges in our last video, but now look at our gauges. They light up. And every one works except the tachometer and the speedometer because we ain't going nowhere. And the tach, I just have to get a harness for it. Other than that, it works.
And you saw the gauges put in. We also added our push button start, our switch for the fuel pump, and the key switch right here. Because we couldn't use the original switch on the column.
Because it was a shaft powered starter. Or a shaft powered switch.
And we were missing some of the parts to that, so that didn't work out, but that's alright.
It'll work. Now, onto the fan. I guess that's the next thing. Eric made us some pretty nice brackets. We recessed or pulled the fan off the radiator a little bit. Got it mounted. And we'll show you. It does work. That's good.
And we mounted our transmission cooler on the front of the radiator. hard to see in there. That strip right there is the top of it. And that worked out pretty well. Kept it kind of hidden.
And the next big thing was our steering gear.
The original steering we had on here,
It's just a straight shaft running right through here. Straight down to here.
it ran right through this cylinder. And we were originally going to work around that and build a set of custom headers, but we decided to stick with the ones that we already had.
Because they fit, apparently. We didn't think they would, but they do.
So we moved the steering that we originally had designed and added this bracket and a gusset as well. And
A new knuckle and a bearing.
yeah.
And if you remember last time, the steering wheel had a lot of play in it. It don't go nowhere now.
Shortened up the brackets that hold that in place. Tightened everything up. Steering is now functional.
Well, what's next?
I guess that's pretty much everything, right?
Are you sure?
Well, the motor does run, doesn't it?
No, it don't run.
Oh. Oh well.
She's alive!
Alrighty.
If you look down in here, our headers are right underneath where you sit. It's gonna be loud. Hold it in there. Hold your phone in there. It took us quite a bit. Had a lot of problems with the motor. We thought the crank was bad in her when we had to put a new water pump on.
The timing cover leak.
We were going to make a video, but while I was trying to fire it up, she blew up in my face. So we decided, we'll just quit her there. So, we got everything put back together, hoping she'd run. Then we figured out we had a leak on the timing chain, which we still kind of do. I got to do a little bit of sealing up to do. But our water pump went out. So we got a new water pump. And what we figured out is our dampener was bad too. The rubber inside the dampener's coming out. So we're like, we should probably put a new one on there. Well, when we pulled it off, the threads inside the crankshaft were stripped. And that's no bueno. That's no good. So we had to kind of
Ran a tap through it.
Yeah, ran a tap.
Cleaned it out.
Hoped and prayed she held. And she does so far. But
we'll keep an eye on it.
yeah, we got chrome valve cover. I don't know if you can see down here, but we also got a chrome oil pan that Grandpa bought for a couple dollars. I think it was like $20. Chrome valve covers, chrome intake, or not intake, breather cover. Now we had problems with the motor because of our distributor. If I can find the old distributor. This was the old distributor. Now this right here plugs in right there, so you get power into your coil. But this right here, Chevrolet had the smart idea of putting a computer on their older vehicles to regulate engine RPMs and load and stuff like that. It don't run without that hooked up. So went to Uncle Brian. He's put a lot of parts into this. We found a distributor that didn't have that. Popped that distributor in, hooked her all up, bam, we got spark. And then another problem with the motor, this cylinder number 5 had a bunch of gunk in her because she sat forever. Well, we finally got her to fire, finally got everything to work out. We were blowing fire about a foot out of the motor. Finally got her to fire that one cylinder, and she's been running good ever since.
Got a few things to finish up on the motor. Put the temp sensor in up here. Seal up the little leaks. And
Clean her up.
clean up the wiring.
Oh yeah, wiring. Got all my wire in, got it all loomed up. Alternator's hooked up. If you ever have a 2-wire alternator, well technically it's a 3-wire, you have your output and then you have 2 posts. If you just want to hardwire one in, run your main power to here, to your battery, then run just a jumper wire from the main post to number 2 post, and that activates your alternator and it works. That's all you need to do. So basically you're turning it into a 1-wire alternator. Fuel pump works. We did have some difficulties with the fuel pump. First one, what was wrong with the first one? Oh, I blew it up.
Yep.
Blew up the motor because the fuel pump's too much for that carburetor. And then the fuel pump ended up going out. My grandpa had another one. So this one blew up. Took the fittings off of it and put on this fuel pump. The exact same. Apparently this one don't work either. So then Grandpa was like, oh, I got this other fuel pump. So we put this one on. And it worked. But apparently, these are, they'll leak out of these right here. And they'll leak down your line, or down your wire. And they'll leak out here and then get all over everywhere. So I had to go buy a new one. I did that. Voila, she works.
I think that about covers it.
Next thing we're doing is probably the floor pan and shifter.
Got some of the floor pan parts already cut, sitting in the corner. I'm gonna have to make a few more up. But
other than that, have a good night.